Welcome to another episode of the Review Advent Calendar Series 2025 edition, and this time around we are going to check a song by Galaxy Standard called Rush. This is a suggestion by Cecilia, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what this group is about, who is singing here, so this is going to be a complete blind test for me. So let's get on to it. Wow. First, this is super funky. Then I know this is Prince of Stride. That's the game. That's the Otome game. Or the anime series, because I feel it had an anime series. So from the cover, I already know where to situate myself, but I don't recall who is part of this project. Challenge. But it is insanely groovy to start off, so it's already good. Mamoru Miyano, so easy. Or someone trying to mimic his style. It sounds a tad off. That falsetto, it's Mamoru Miyano. So apologies to everyone who is a fan of his, because that it was sounding a tad weird. But now I'm trying to double check on wikis and everything else at the same time to try to understand if it is exactly or who is a part of, because I'm not picking up the other voices. I'm trying to understand who is there as well, but it's being a bit of a challenge. Okay, Mamoru Miyano is confirmed. Daisuke Hirakawa, okay. Takuya Guchi, Tatsuya Suzuki, okay. Yuki Ono, and Toshihito Yanaga. Wow. Wait a minute, this is going to be awesome. This is almost cheating when you have Mamoru Miyano leading the way, being the main vocal like he is, sounding like he is in this song. It's cheating because he's riffing, he's doing everything that he wants, and he's sounding amazing, and everyone around him is sounding amazing, so that's cheating. The song already sounds good, so... The thing that I was talking about, the falsetto and how he tackles falsetto, is really iconic, because right away I can understand it is him when he goes for that falsetto. You noticed how I was really struggling at the start, because right now there are some seiyuu that try to mimic how Mamoru Miyano sings, and they can actually come pretty close. It's really odd or difficult to explain, but that falsetto, the way he tackles that falsetto, the way that he grabs that note at the top, only he does that. So that's the way that I usually find Mamoru Miyano within a song, especially when it is big group songs in which sometimes he's not really the spotlight, which can happen, for example, with Starish in the Utapuri franchise. That's a good way to actually tell where is Mamoru Miyano within a song, unless he was told to sing in a different way from his usual way, which usually doesn't happen. But also Mamoru Miyano is not part of many 2D music projects or projects in which he is required to sing character songs, so that's not really common, so you don't have that big of a basis to actually support that argument. So yeah, let's continue. This feels like an early 2000s song with those synths. They don't sound as polished as I would say today's dance music is. Um, Also, I'm not finding the quality of this recording to be that good, which is odd coming from Kadokawa, but there's a bit of distortion. Unless it is intended, there's a bit of distortion to the instrumental itself. I'm going to lower the sound on my headphones as well, because that may be that as well that is causing the distortion. Yeah, that's Toyonaga. Ooh, that bass line was punchy. Are you doing this to me? Are you actually having Mamoru Miyano and Toshiki Toyonaki leading the way in the song and everyone else is the backing vocal? Because I'm all in for these. You are just putting two of the best singers among male seiyuu in the same room and waiting for people to not pass out, basically. I finally found Tatsuya Suzuki in this song. That brief part. It's been a while since I've last heard anything from him or his voice at all. I'm not watching any anime. I've been in the past 2 years not watching any anime whatsoever, so I don't even know what he's doing. And it's been a while since I've listened to his voice, so good to find it here. That's a unique voice. I'm still trying to find where Yuki Ono is, basically in the background with Daisuke Hirakawa, but still I would love to have them both at the front as well. Takuyaguchi as well. I was talking about Yuki Ono is here. Oh. That's the dubstep that I really don't like, and that makes this song sound super old, because dubstep is such a 2010s trend. But yeah, I think that maybe that is back. I'm not a big fan of EDM music nor pop music, so if you are a fan, please let me know if this is becoming a trend in pop music again, because I like my pop music groovy, if possible, when I listen to it, not sounding like a washing machine having problems. But yeah, let's continue. Raise your hands. Super groovy, this bass line. I like the big synth stabs, although I was not a fan of the weird break that we had with dubstep. What was that even for? Because it makes no sense whatsoever within the song. At least for me it doesn't. Maybe we could have gotten a bass solo there with the synths that we are now listening to, and this could be a quieter part in which the vocals would lead the way. Because you have amazing vocals here, so you would make this part as ethereal as possible to dazzle everyone, building up to the chorus. But however, they took a different road, and they approached that as, let's bring some excitement here with the dubstep to make people really excited about the song. It doesn't even have a drop, so why the dubstep there, I don't even understand. That the song doesn't have even a drop in tension. So if you are going to bring dubstep, at least make it so that we have a drop that is satisfying. You don't have a drop. You just simply morph into the next section, which is a bit underwhelming. But still, glad that the dubstep part was really brief. I'm really enjoying the bass line so far. And with these vocals, which I will say, looking at the lineup, so you have Mamoru Miyano, Daisuke Hirakawa, Takuya Guchi, Tatsuhisa Suzuki, Yuki Ono, and Toshiki Toyonaga. Only Daisuke Hirakawa is a baritone. Everyone else is a tenor. So yeah, with the bassy instrumental, they are all shining. That's why the vocals are standing out. As well as for the mix, because the mix was fairly well done, even if there's still some distortion, and it's not from my headphones, and it's not from my volume, it's from the recording. That drums fill on your right side was really good, really tasty. I wanted a bit more, but a good way to bring us to another rap section, I feel. This is like a song that you would sing at the live show alongside everyone else. Everyone's singing along and just having fun. It feels also like a summer song, which is kind of cool. Since I'm recording these, I'm in the northern hemisphere, so it is winter and it is cold outside. So it is a good song to actually take me to a warmer weather and more interesting season than winter, I would say. So yeah. That R&B riffing going on by Mamoru Miyano as everyone else is singing along. I love that a whole lot. And I love when he does that. Yeah. I'm happy. Do you know what would happen here, at least in my head, what would be perfect? That the last 20 seconds would be Toshiki Toyonaga actually doing exactly the same on the vocal end. I don't believe it will happen, but if it does, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, we didn't get that part that I wanted. But still, this was an interesting listen. First I was not aware that Prince of Stride actually had music. I have played the game, so that's a thing. But it's been a long time since I have done that, so I was not even recalling anything about the game until I saw the cover of these songs. So yeah, I understood completely what I was talking or getting into. I was not expecting this song though. Really groovy, really danceable, with a tech vibe there, EDM vibe, which is basically leading the way. But since we are talking about Prince of Stride and that is tied to sports, I feel that that type of sound makes sense. So that's something that I fairly enjoy there. The thing about the lineup, I don't know why you have so many people and you can barely listen to some. I could not find Takuya Guchi and Daisuke Hirakawa within the lineup as I was listening. Of course, this was a first listen, and for sure, for the second listen, I would pay much more attention to the song. And I would probably find them within the mix, but in a first listen, without even knowing what to look at or try to find people, I actually found some of the members, but not all the members on the vocal end. For example, Yuki Ono and Tatsuhisa Suzuki, they are only doing background vocals and some rapping, and it's really brave for them. Daisuke Hirakawa, I don't know where he is. Takuya Guchi, also the same thing. leading the way and taking a big chunk of the vocals is Mamoru Miyano and Toshiki Toyonaga, and this takes me back to the 2010s when they were basically the two vocals that everyone wanted in every single project, and they would go to those projects, sometimes sing together, sometimes not be in the same projects, and of course dazzle in their own projects, especially character songs for the games or the anime series they were a part of. Mamoru Miyano, whenever he gets an opportunity to sing a character song, he always dazzles, and you know that he's going to deliver a really good job. The problem that I find usually is that Mamoru Miyano, between character songs, he usually sounds like himself performing the songs. He never sounds like the character performing the song. Much because when he performs these characters, most of the time he performs as himself, or he doesn't do much to sound different, because when you do something good, you don't need to change it. So if it isn't broken, don't change it. But that brings a bit of, I would say, a monotone vibe to the performances, because you can usually tell that he's Mamoru Miyano, because he usually sings with the exact same voice tone, which is his normal voice tone, which is unbelievably good. So don't get me wrong, I love Mamoru Miyano and I love his voice, but I feel that sometimes, perhaps anime creators, they should push towards having him do crazy stuff and trying different things. A bit like, for example, in a contrast, Toshiki Toyonaga never sounds like the same in every single project that he is a part of, because he usually brings something completely different to his performances. A quirk that is part of the character, or even the voice tone changes slightly, or the diction, or the intonation. Mamoru Miyano barely does anything towards changing that. Once again, two different voice actors, two different voices, and different things required of them. So do not get me wrong, this is not a complaint. It's more of an observation of... That's why I usually can tell apart it is Mamoru Miyano, even if he sounded slightly weird at the start for me, and I was not really understanding if it was really him. But then again, the quality of the recording is not that bad. Not that bad, no. It's actually not that good. That's the thing. It's filled with distortion, and that distortion feels or makes it so that the voice doesn't sound that great at the start, and I was really wavering between if it doesn't sound that great, it's probably not Mamoru Miyano, but someone trying to pass as Mamoru Miyano, because there are a couple of seiyuu that right now can have sort of a vibe or a similar tone. But yeah, this was all to say. You have Mamoru Miyano and Toshiki Toyonaga leading the way, which is unbelievably good. You could have picked other seiyuu that are really massive, but I feel that this is a nostalgia blast for me, because Mamoru Miyano and Toshiki Toyonaga and Kisho, for example, I grew up listening to them basically, and that's how I got into the music that we are covering at the Handed Fizz HQ. If it weren't for those three seiyuu who grabbed my attention almost since the start, I wouldn't be here today actually reviewing music. So it was a nostalgia blast for me to actually find these two. There's no Kisho here, but still, these two together singing here, and it takes me back to those days in which they were both in almost every single Otome game. They were there. Usually Toshiki Toyonaga performing or giving voice to a yandere character, and Mamoru usually giving voice to a noji or a prince-like character. Or something, or someone a little bit quirkier. But yeah, this was almost like a blast of the past with something that is actually pretty recent. It's not really something that is super old. The song says it was released in 2024, so this is not super old, but the project, I know that Prince of Stride, the game, is actually, I wouldn't say old, but it has some age to it, at least more than 5 years. I remember the game being out and playing it, so that's it's been a while. But yeah, this was actually really, really fun song to listen to. Really groovy, really fun. I would have done better without that dubstep section, which makes no sense whatsoever. There's no drop in the song, so why raise the tension if you are not going to unleash anything? That's weird to me. In terms of the composition itself, it sounds a bit weird to me. But other than that, it's a really, really fun song. And Cecilia, thank you so much for suggesting Galaxy Standard, with Rush. This is a song tied to somehow the Prince of Stride series or game. They have an anime series, so you can also check that out. I haven't checked it out. I don't know if it is good. Assuming it is an adaptation of an otome game, maybe it's not that good. But still, if you are a fan of the game, maybe it's going to be something that will put some animation to the characters that you love, which is always a plus. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this episode, and I hope you enjoyed this one. I have plenty of more episodes of review Advent Calendar, not only from this edition, but also from other editions, and you will find the master playlist on the screen somewhere, and you will find as well on the channel. If you don't have that appearing to you, you will find that right away on the channel if you go to the playlists tab. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, leave a comment if you want to, and I'll see you guys in the next video.